Hello, I'm Ragnarok, and welcome to the Reckoning. So this is going to be a Felgarth Sub-faction quest tutorial. So basically, Felgarth has had a sub-faction or sub-factions added to it in the most recent update. So they were the next faction to get a rework, and they have their quest line, and it's a little bit more in depth. I would say it's a little harder to complete the steps without a lot of exploration or just talking to a lot of people that have found the different items throughout the world. So basically this is going to cover just the quest line to complete so you can get to the point where you can choose which sub-faction you want to join. We will be doing a sub-faction video or a sub-faction showcase for each of the two sub-factions shortly after this video releases. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you hit the sub button so you get notified when that gets dropped. But this one, we're just going to go through finding or completing the quest and getting to the point where you can choose your sub-faction. And from there, we'll see where we go. Okay, so first things first, you need to be Felgarth, obviously. So for Felgarth, it's in the faction hall. If you don't know where the faction hall is, we do have a video that's either releasing soon or may have already released, depending on when you watch the video, on how to pick your factions and stuff like that. But you're not going to be doing a sub-faction unless you know what faction you are. To get the Felgarth sub-faction, you have to be Felgarth. After that, after you pick your faction right there in the faction hall, you will gain access to the Felgarth Sanctuary or library or whatever they want to call it. So you'll go through this portal. Okay, so once you go through the portal, and you can see there's the portal back to the faction hall, you will be in the sanctuary, keep, library, whatever of the Felgarth. So pretty cool room. I like the decoration. I like how each of the sub-faction room, or not sub-faction, but the faction sanctuaries are unique looking. They have their own feel and look that appropriate to its faction. The Cold Embrace was very dark, had snow and stuff like that. This one's a lot more light. Looks more like a library or a study or something like that. So definitely appropriate with this magic pool, which I love the look of this. The design on this is crazy. So either way, though, that's my opinion. Once you come through here to pick or start your sub-faction quest, you're going to take a right, I believe. Let's see if I'm right. And yes, I am. So you're going to come into the room that has the rot branch right there, and it has the purple banner, and you're going to look for Athos Stormcaller. So you're going to talk to him.
These are dark times. There's no doubt about it. We all have our roles to play. The Order of Felgarth, now more than ever, cannot remain neutral. I will soon travel back to Stormhold to take care of the final preparations. Without the king on our side, I fear our efforts will be futile. While I'm gone, you and the rest of the Order must remain vigilant. In the times ahead, we have to strive towards a common goal to ensure that there won't be a calamity brought upon this world. We will work closely with the Order of Elvenor to raise fighters for what's to come. Before you make any decisions, however, I need you to take care of a few things for me. There are 5 tomes around the world which have been lost to the times. I don't have exact locations for where they are, but I can give you the general area for each of them. Once you have collected them all, return them to me. Travel safe, young scholar.
Okay, so once you finish talking to him, this person gives you the quest. Now this quest, it's different than the Cold Embrace one. You get one quest for both factions. So if you go talk to the other guy, he's not going to give you anything as far as the quest line. Athos Stormcaller gives you the quest, and then after you complete this quest, you'll be able to choose which of the two sub-factions. Whereas the Cold Embrace, they had a different quest depending on what sub-faction you talk to. So it's a little variation. I actually like it. It's not the same thing repeated. It's a different way. You know, one quest line for 2 different factions. So it's kind of cool. What you're going to want to do is either keep my video up or take a nice screenshot of this, and if you want to look for it yourself. Some of these are actually pretty straightforward and easy. There is 1 or 2 that are a little bit more complicated and not as descriptive, but it's a little bit of the joy of the hunt. So but either way, let's go through them all. Okay, so the first one we're going to go over is the Tome of Starlight. The description or the hint for this one was it's somewhere in a cave around J7. So we're right here in J7. We're at the Zarthos Refuge. We'll zoom in a little bit. There you go. And there's the cave right there. It's right below one of the faction camps, as you can see right up there to my left. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in here. We'll use the Orb of Light, one of the Felgarth, or the Felgarth's light sources. Well, one of them. And this is a vanilla area. This is where there's a boss that you get. And I think you get the legendary crocodile armor or whatever it is, the Sobrek armor, if I remember right. And you're going to go up to where the boss is that you fight. And right here, right behind him on the platform, you'll see right here. Interact with it. And now we have Tome of the Starlight. Okay, so the next one we're going to go over is the Tome of Storms. This one is said the tome is located somewhere in the mountain regions around C12. So let's take a look where we are. We're in C12. I'm going to zoom in, and we're on the pretty much the north, or I guess the westernmost peninsula of this mountaintop. It's actually right above the Ymir trainer, the vanilla Ymir religion trainer. So what you're going to do is you're going to come to this area. You're going to see this nice little platform decorated up here. You're going to got a lot of Felgarth and Elvenor people. This is actually another one of the faction camps. If you didn't quite know, actually here's one of the shrines. And just to let you know if you're worried about it, because I am cloaked, but it doesn't really matter. Felgarth and Elvenor are passive now, so it's kind of like when you go into the Sepulmaru city, the vanilla city. All the NPCs, or majority of the NPCs, are passive, so they won't attack you on sight. If you attack them, they'll all aggro on you, and then it's bad news. But they are passive, so you can run through here no problem. You won't have to worry about getting attacked or fighting your way to get to this tome. So really, really cool feature. I like that. That's one of the nicer factions has been made passive. Either way, let's take a look. We're going to go behind it to this little rock. We're going to climb, and as you can... There we go. As you can see, Tome of the Storms. And as you right there is the Ymir trainer, so you're literally right above the Ymir trainer. And right behind the shrine. Okay, next one we're going to go over is the Tome of Volcanic Flames. So you can probably guess where this one is, just by the name of it. But it says inside the mountain around E12. So what we're going to do is, here's E12, and here is the... Oh, that was a little accent right there, huh? Here is the Dragon Mouth Cave. So you're just going to run into it. And we're going to follow the path. And the funny thing is a lot of these tomes that you need are actually pretty close to shrines. As you see, the first one was near the Earth Shrine. The second one was near the Air Shrine. This one's actually near the Fire Shrine. So they're kind of near objects of magic. Now, this is a little new area. You've probably come into this cave a bunch of times. Pretty cool cave. You're going to have to do a little parkouring here, platforming. If you're not really good at it, then you might have a little trouble with it. The good thing is, I mean, you can technically run on this stuff. The magma doesn't actually instant kill you anymore. As you can see, I missed that jump. I probably would have died if I wasn't in God mode. But either way, here's the Fire Shrine. Pretty cool. Also, the one thing I like about this, as you can see... Let's see. There you go. There's little waves that actually cover the stone. So if you don't time your jumping right, you'll end up in the lava. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's an interesting thing. I like a little parkour in the game, a little platforming, right? But right next to it is the next tome. And we have the Tome of Volcanic Flames. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is the Tome of Life. This one is located somewhere in the dark depths of the mountains. Search the passage between the jungle and the north for an underwater cavern. So there's been kind of like a underwater dungeon added to in the most recent update. It's actually a hidden area. So where we are right here is we're in the passageway. It doesn't matter if you go through the passage entrance in the jungle or the passage entrance in the snow area. These caves connect. I would say, even though on the map it shows I'm over here, the passage in the snow area is a lot closer to where you want to be. We're actually, that is right there is the door to the passage to the snow area, so we're a lot closer on that end. But the cave connects. There's a bunch of bosses in the middle, but you can, with a little luck, run past them and get up here. But what we're looking for is we're looking for this main room. And I'm just going to jump down. I'm in God mode, so I don't really care. Either way, though, you're looking for this main cavern with the big waterfall. and we're just going to go into the water. And now before we actually dive, this is an underwater cave. It is a maze, and so you're going to spend, I think I've timed myself, if I don't get lost and I go directly to the end of the cave, it takes about 8 to 10 minutes of swimming. Maybe it's a little less. But if you don't know where you're going, which most people aren't until they do it a bunch, you're probably going to take, I think the first time I went in there, it took me like 20 to 30 minutes to make my way through. Now, there are a lot of air pockets and stuff like that, but they're not as close together as you think. So you will not survive this unless you bring a lot of breathing potions, if that's all you have in the game at that point. I would say safely I'd bring like 40 or 50 of them. So this is actually kind of cool because breathing potions to me have always been one of those things that I've never used. I've never had to, like the underwater dungeon, the vanilla one. But this gives a good use for them. You're going to want a lot of them. Also, you can get the underwater breathing mask, which is another vanilla thing that will help. Or if you're lucky enough, you can get the Riptide legendary weapon. Again, it's a vanilla weapon, and it gives you water breathing. So I'm going to actually equip that. As you can see, I can breathe underwater, so I don't need any potions. This is a legendary weapon that drops in the Unnamed City, I believe, for one of the bosses. So it's not easy to get, but once you get it, you won't need any kind of special way of swimming underwater. If you swim all the way down and you just go right through the floor, you end up in the underwater cave. Kind of cool. As you can see, it's pretty dark in here. Oops, wrong way. See, as you can see, I already got lost. The really cool thing about the underwater cave, on a side note, since we're swimming through it right now, is that there are a lot of Age of Calamitous mats down here. In the beginning, you'll see things like tin and brimstone. As you go through, you'll start seeing cobalt, and towards the end, there's every Age of Calamitous mat other than, I think, Widow's Leaf. This cave has the most amount of Age of Calamitous nodes: Onyx, cobalt, tin, copper, mystical plants, Calaluthia plant. Pretty much all that stuff is in every Age of Calamitous thing except for the Widow's Leaf. It can be found in this cave, and it's very easy. So make sure you bring a pick with you, a good one, and enjoy getting all the mats. Okay, so I basically jumped ahead a little bit because we don't need to watch the swimming thing. You'll swim around, you'll find it, but basically the first cavern, you'll get through the first little passageway, and you'll find this. You'll basically come out of the water. See if I can get a little light in here. There we go. There's a little bit of light. See if we can add a little light on these sides of the walls. There we go. And it's basically the first open area you come to. It's actually not that far after the entrance, and you'll pretty much find it because that part's not really a maze to get here. You'll find your first big air pocket. You'll see this little ledge right here. It has a crystal on it. And you'll see the little ruins up there. So what you want to do is you want to climb, if we can actually climb, up here. Oh, and it's dark again. Those little flares only last like 30 seconds. Bring it up again. And again, you'll find some NPCs up here. And what you're going to do is you're going to come over here. And there it is. Right behind the bush. And we have the Tome of Life. Like I said, it's in this first cavern. You just swim around, you'll find it. Just occasionally go all the way up. But this is actually the cavern everybody makes it to. It's the next cavern that's kind of hard to get to. It's a little bit of a maze. So you shouldn't have a problem finding this one at least. Okay, so the last place is the Tome of Retribution. This one says it's located somewhere in the haunted Unnamed City. So that's very vague because the Unnamed City is massive. What we're looking for, though, is we're looking for the northern part, the Archives. So it's right there's the obelisk. See if I can illuminate it a little bit for us. There we go. So there's the obelisk that you learn. It's one of the vanilla teleportation areas. And right behind it, where you learn the map room, is the Archives. We're going to run in there. As you can see, every one of these tomes is at least in a region of one of the shrines. The first three you saw the shrines. The fourth one was the underwater. In a later part of the underwater dungeon is where the Arcane Shrine is. And then in the Unnamed City is where the Blood Shrine is. It's a totally different part of the Unnamed City. But they're all near sources of magic. So that's kind of cool, and it kind of makes a little sense. So this is the room where you learn the map room from him, and you can turn in the fragments of power for scrolls, and basically vanilla recipes. That's the vanilla aspect. This is also one of the AOC new camps. Now, like the other one near the air shrine, it is a passive camp, so these guys will not attack you unless you attack them. So this is definitely a bigger camp, and these guys are not that easy to fight, especially if you're not prepared for it and you're a low level, or especially if you're like level 60. You're probably gonna have a rougher time at this specific camp, so don't accidentally punch one of them, because no fun. Either way, come in here, and I think it's to the left. Here it is, yeah. So you just take a little left right here, and on the ground you're gonna see a little book. You're gonna read it, and you found the Tome of Retribution. Okay, so once you have all 5 of those tomes, and we can go into the inventory real quick, you can see we have all the tomes. Make sure you don't lose these, and make sure you don't drop them. You know, maybe as you get one, go back to your base, put them in the chest, so if you die, you don't lose them. Because you probably, some of these, you like the underwater one, you probably don't want to have to go all the way back to the underwater cave just for the tome. There's plenty of stuff to do there, but for this sake, you probably want to get all the ones really quick and not lose them. So anyways, you're going to come back to the SubFaction hall, which we were at in the beginning of the video. You're going to come back to this room, and you're going to talk to Athos.
I see you found them. Very good. These are spell books which will teach you new abilities. However, it will take some time to learn, but you also have to make a choice. I have devoted my time to study the elements, or, more specifically, the element of air. I've also spoken to Grandmaster Theron of Elvenor, so if you want to, you'll be able to become a Magus of Elvenor if you so desire. The choice is yours. Study the elements under myself, or the arcane arts under Theron. You will always have a home here at Felgarth, no matter what you choose.
Okay, so as you can see, you can choose one of 2 subfactions, the Holy Syndicate or House Stormcaller. It's kind of cool. Each one has their own. Like I said, we will do a showcase video, but basically once you have been given that dialogue, you can choose House Stormcaller, which is the room you're already in, under Athos Stormcaller. And I really, really love this banner and the symbol and stuff like that. But you can see that here's the pet you get. Here's some of the armors and the weapons and stuff. And then we will go to the other side just so you can see. So you would talk to that statue if you wanted House Stormcaller. And then the Holy Syndicate, which is the other subfaction. There's the armor and the weapons and stuff. You can see it comes with some spells. The pet. And you're going to talk to Grandmaster Theron, Kentholus. I don't know. Whatever. And here's the statue. You're going to talk to the statue. You'll get the token, and you'll use the token. Same way you would learn the factions. So just make note real quick. You can only pick one subfaction, and currently there's no way to unlearn a subfaction, and there's no way to learn both subfactions. Even if your admin spawns in stuff, you can't learn. At least I haven't been able to. Who knows? Maybe that gets updated. And if you try to use the other token, it won't let you. And there's no way to unlearn it without a specific admin feature inside the Pippi mod. So just be aware of that. You're kind of stuck with that subfaction once you do it. But they're both really cool. They both have a lot of really interesting additions that I think are amazing to the game and make the Felgarth way more viable. And actually, I'll probably be playing them very soon. So anyways, stay tuned for the actual subfaction showcase where we go over what each has to offer. That's going to be coming out very, very soon. But I figured to do this first for those people that are just trying to get it and want to see for themselves. We can get through it as fast as possible so they don't have to admin and those books and stuff like that. Okay, so that was the Felgarth Subfaction tutorial. I went over the 5 locations. Like I said, once you get it done, they're pretty easy to find once you've done them once. Some of them are probably a lot. Well, no, they are 100% definitely a lot more difficult to find if someone doesn't just stumble by them, especially in some of the darker areas. But it's a pretty decent quest, and with the knowledge they give you, you can find it with a little bit of time. But either way, hope the video helped. Like I said, hit the subscribe button so you get notified the second the Subfaction Showcase video comes out. We'll also do a brand new Felgarth, and we're working on the Cold Embrace Showcase videos since they've been updated since the last time we've done those videos. And we have a lot more stuff coming out with all these new additions and changes to the Age of Calamitous with the most recent massive update. So definitely hit the subscribe button. Also, if you happen to really like the videos, if you keep coming back watching videos and you're not subscribed, even if you don't need the notifications, do me a favor and just hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel immensely. You don't even know. Like I said, even if you don't need that notification or you don't care, just hit the little button real quick. It's just a little one click. I see there's a lot of people that watch a lot of videos and but they're not subscribed. So like I said, it helps out the channel. So it will help me to continue to do what I've been doing. And I would appreciate it. Also, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments or any suggestions or anything like that, leave them in the comment section below. I do read the comments. It takes me a little while to go through them at certain periods, but I do eventually go through all of them. And also, if you want to check out some of the streams, we do stream on Twitch. Link for that is in the description below. We have an amazing Discord channel where we have some servers, and we have some people that run some servers that are for the actual Discord community. So come check us out there or hang out there where we talk a lot. People ask questions. Hey, where do I find this? Where do I do this? So a lot of times you can just post it there and eventually you'll get your question answered. So a link for that is in the description below. Also want to give a huge shout out to our Patreons and our elite Patreons. I appreciate everything you all do. If you're interested in being one of our Patreons, definitely check out the link in the description below. We have exclusive time videos, teasers, access to our exclusive Discord rooms, so a bunch of other stuff like that. Definitely check that out. Also want to thank, we've hit one of our goals for our Patreon, and we also just hit not a little while ago, we hit 3K subs on YouTube, so I want to thank you all for that. It's an amazing milestone. Never thought I would be there this fast, so I really do appreciate that. But otherwise, I want to say thank you to everybody that has supported the channel, the kind words, the continuous views, the sharing it with your communities and posting it in your Discords and stuff so everybody knows when the videos get dropped. I really do appreciate it. It helps out the channel immensely, and like I said, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing as much as I'm doing it if it wasn't for the great support of the community. So again, I really appreciate that. But otherwise, I'll leave you on that one. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, fear the reckoning.